welcome you on in. This is Game Time, our post-game report after the Eastern Conference Finals, Game 5. Vince Cellini and Dennis Scott and Greg Anthony with you on set. And we were just joking about this. Yeah, well, did you nod off towards the end of this game?
Yeah, a while ago.
Because it was riveting. But listen, in this blowout game, important things, I believe, happened for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Basically resetting a couple of guys who needed it, Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson. And Greg, you mentioned in the pregame show that you felt that LeBron's duty was going to be to get those guys going early. That's exactly what he did in that 37-point first quarter.
Yeah, that first quarter was about getting their confidence level higher. I think in his mind, he's thinking about the finals. Not that he's looking past Toronto, but he knows in order to have a real chance to win it, those guys are going to have to play at a high level. And so I felt like he made a concerted effort to get those guys engaged and let them feel that we win because of what you guys bring to the table. And that confidence boost was needed. And I tell you what, I also think that Toronto may have lost Game 6 tonight.
Really?
The way they were dismantled in this game. You know, it's one thing to get blown out in a playoff series because it happens, and it's happened a lot this year. But generally the blowout games come early in the series when you're trying to get a feel for the team. You're coming off another series maybe. There's some emotional letdown. When you've been in a series for 5 games now and you're coming off your 2 most impressive performances, then to come out and lay an egg like that, that's confidence deflating. And it could really, I think, carry over into Game 6.
Yeah, Dennis, do you believe that the Cavs wanted to come out and have this type of dominating performance so that Toronto would carry that back to their home floor where they've had success winning 2 games?
When the Cavs won games 1 and 2, most people around the country are like, well, it looked like this thing's over. Toronto goes home and plays 2 different style of games. Now you come back home for Game 5, it kind of reminds you of Game 1 and 2, but about plus 40 points. So I asked myself, was watching this game, is what was the conversation, GA, on the flight, on the way to Cleveland? Did they say, okay, guys, hey, we had our 2 best games, they can have this, and let's get Game 6 back at our place, and now let's come back for another Game 7 like we showed in the first 2 rounds? Because that's what I'm sitting there watching, like, it's like it's just odd that the energy and the effort, like, we just played 2 great ball games at home and took, you know, our life back, so to speak. And now we go right back on the road and, I mean, you lay an egg. I mean, there was no, after the first 4 or 5 minutes, Tristan Thompson got the first 2 offensive rebounds. Kevin Love scored the first 2 times on the block. And then see, we all like said, well, I guess the game's over.
Literally, we're sitting there watching the game.
Seriously.
And, you know, it just felt like Toronto lost belief from the get-go. It's almost like that first offensive rebound that Tristan Thompson got, the first post-up where Kevin Love was able to go at Scola and get those scores. And it was shocking. It was almost, to your point, maybe it felt like to me, maybe they're not saying it to one another, but they felt like mission accomplished. You know, we got 2 games. You know, I mean, because that's the way they perform. Like that's in your mind, you got to believe you can win that game. You got them reeling a little bit. You got questions being asked about guys who haven't done it yet. You know, Kevin Love and Kyrie, as great as they are, they haven't gotten to the mountain yet. You know, LeBron has, but as LeBron has shown, I mean, as great as he is, and he knows this, he can't do it by himself. And I think they also let Cleveland off the hook a little bit because they didn't create the adversity that you have to in order to try to win a game like this when it's 2-2. You know, you've got to put pressure on them. They didn't put an ounce of pressure on Cleveland from the starting tip. No. And that was disappointing to see because Toronto to me, I thought they would give great effort and fight, and that didn't show itself tonight.